So my ex wanted me to allow her and her kids to come to my house because, I guess it caught fire and they needed somewhere to go. Now, a little backstory, when we broke up, I had nowhere to go and she put me out in the street, right? It's cool. As a grown man, you should always have your own place, right? Lesson learned.
Right.
But now that I have my own establishment and now that she's out on hard times, she thinks that she's held the same position she once did when we was dating. I have no obligation to you or your children, no different than you did to me and mine when you put me out in the street at 12 o'clock at night on a Thursday. And I have to be to work at 4 a.m. in the morning.
He remembers the time and place.
I didn't cause no scene. I didn't break no things. I didn't wake up the kids with yelling and screaming.
Right.
I happily and gradually walked my black self out, slept in my car at my job, and got to it. So I say that to say this. I told her the same thing. Hit up one of those guys you was messing with, a family member, a church, a shelter, but you can't come here. You don't hold that starting five position no more, sweetie. It's been fulfilled. You're not even a sub. You're not even on a practice squad. You're not. Just letting you know what it is. And it's not me being mean. It's me letting you know that when we broke up, we broke up. I don't hold you to no obligations towards me. And you can't hold no obligations towards you. So I'm not being mean. I don't wish harm on you and your kids, but we're not going to play that game of you coming in here with your children 3 months later. Ain't no telling how long you're going to be in here. Ain't no telling that's even a true story. But I won't let her come in to find out. So you guys let me know, am I being an or am I holding strong?
You're holding strong. You're holding strong. And she's drinking some strong coffee, of course. And I'm sorry if I'm in this situation, which I've never been. Number one, it will be a no just based off first, right? First, just based off the fact that I've never lived with a woman before I got married, right? I wanted to make sure I marry the woman I move in with due to value, so on and so forth. But then to think that you can come back after treating me in that way is one thing. But to think that I would then be responsible, or you have the audacity to expect me to be responsible for another man's kids, I would view that as a slight disrespect. I'm going to be honest. Just the question would be viewed disrespectfully. Now, because I know that God has high standards for those who claim to be followers of him, I would pray for her. Why, Chisha? Because the Bible says pray for your enemies. I would say, hey, we could pray about this. We could pray about this. Might even buy the family some lunch. But moving into the house is no. A quick word from the sponsor of our channel, FathersHaveRights.com. At FathersHaveRights.com, one of our expert attorneys compares marriage to an iceberg. The iceberg represents your future marriage, and you only see 10%. What you don't see are the hidden terms: alimony, child support, custody, visitation. Most men sign that marriage contract blind, focused only on the wedding day. Future husbands, a prenup is the best way to legally protect yourself if you value marriage in our modern day. Hit the link pinned to the top of the comment section to join the hundreds of men securing their marriages the right way. Top comment here says, don't do it. Easy to let them in, but hard to get them out. Exactly. You see, the type of situation we're talking about here is probably the type of situation where after that person moves in, they have the nerve to start causing problems. Like, that's how people are who are entitled. You ever notice that entitled people who also don't have much have the nerve to also be difficult to get along with? And guys, I'm not perfect, right? And I'm sure neither are you, but you know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. Or you look at somebody who just has the nerve to treat people terribly and burn bridges and just be outright horrible when we all know that those tables turn. Somebody responded back to that comment and said, facts, and I stood on business. That was him, actually. And somebody else added to this conversation, says, good for you. I feel bad for the kids. That's why. Maybe it's because I have kids, but now more than ever, I do feel a little bit worse for children, because I finally realized that kids do not ask to get brought into this world, right? You imagine you just show up and you have a situation with the mom who's irresponsible. It's unfair to kids.
Hey guys, so I'm just sitting here thinking about how I've been through so much in relationships. And I want to tell y'all about the time that my boyfriend found out I was talking to another guy. Now, this happened years ago. I'm no longer with him, so I don't mind telling y'all the story. So basically, this was around the time when I was living in the Bronx, North Bronx to be exact, by White Plains Road. If you're from New York, you know. And my ex now, he was living in Brooklyn at the time, Brownsville to be exact. He lived in a house. I was also working for a supermarket named Fairway. I was a cashier at the time, and there was a guy that worked in that supermarket as well. He worked in the fish department, and we started talking. Like, we just connected. We hit it off. But I was in a relationship. So around this time, me and the guy that I was in a relationship with, we were just clashing. Like, I just started feeling like I wasn't feeling him. Like, I wasn't really that attracted to him anymore. And he was doing things that were annoying to me. If you're an Aries, you know, sometimes we just get irritated quick. But anyway, so there was one day that I went to my boyfriend's house, and that's a very long travel from the Bronx to Brownsville. So, of course, I was going to stay the night. We were chilling. We were eating, watching TV, listening to music, looking at movies, stuff like that. I had asked him, for some reason, I had asked him to take my phone to connect to the Wi-Fi. So, mind you, at this time, I was talking to the guy, but we were texting through a Text Now free app. So, not through regular text messages, but one of those free text apps. So, when he connected to the Wi-Fi for me, all the messages started popping up on the screen. All the messages started popping up, and he was saying, baby, and I miss you, and you're so sexy, and all this next stuff. And I was just like, oh no. And he was reading it. He kept reading it out loud. He just kept repeating it. I was like, oh Lord. And I couldn't even really say much. He was like, what's this? And I was like, it's just a guy. Immediately he was out, get your stuff. He started packing up my stuff. He started throwing. He started wilding. He definitely kicked me out the house. Mind you, it was pouring down rain outside. So not only was it pouring down rain, I got kicked out of the house, but I had to travel back to the Bronx, and I was crying like, I don't want to leave. I'm sorry. It's not what you think. Mind you, it was everything that he thought. So, of course, I'm crying, walking to the train station in the rain, the saddest scene you could even think of. And I called the guy that I was talking to. I called him, because who else am I going to vent to? And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? So I'm not okay, but like, what else am I going to do? So it was a long ride. The trains was messed up. If you know, like at night, most of the time the trains are messed up because they're doing construction on the tracks. So it took me forever to get home. Eventually, you know, I think like the next day, he officially broke up with me. But if y'all want to know about the guy I was talking to and the relationship I had with him, let me know, because that was the worst relationship of my life. And I think it was my karma for cheating. Okay, thanks for listening to my story. Bye.
Next comment here says, no is a sentence. I agree. Somebody else here added, don't do it. Protect your peace. Here's another person who says, totally agree with you. Don't let her back. Here's somebody else who says, the circle is complete. Another person who says, you get what you put out. The circle doesn't go halfway around. Here's somebody else who added, that number would have been blocked, bro. And all social media blocked, bro. Yeah. You have to know when to say no in life. You have to know when to call out somebody who's crossing the line. Here's somebody else who says, hold strong, my or other. Of course, guys, curious to know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Hey, guys, as always, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pod. To my currently engaged or soon-to-be married men, if you need a prenup and would like a guide that shows you how to get a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement, hit the link pinned to the top of the comment section and access your guide at fathershaverights.com today.